Wolves of Wind, Book 1, Feathers, Chapter 14, Proof. The hungry flames burned Rain's nostrils as Ebony lifted the branch off her wing. "What are you doing out here?" Ebony shouted over the roaring forest. "I was hunting and I found Elpha dead. Silver attacked me and I accidentally blinded her." "You did what?" Ebony shouted as the two of them tried to run to the edge of the forest. "No time to say it again," Rain said, ducking under a fallen branch blocking her path. Her fur was covered in soot and ash. She saw the clearing ahead and ran faster. Suddenly, a huge muddy lump of rocks and branches spilled down. Rain dodged, but Ebony had not seen it, and it crashed down on her back. "Ebony!" Rain shouted, digging in the mud. I'm here, but there's not enough time to help me. I'll tell you who it is now." "Ebony, no! You aren't dying here." "Maybe not, but you aren't staying here long enough to find out. There isn't enough time." Okay, fine. Now who did it?" "I'm not sure, but I can say that one of them is Grass. Now please go." "Grass?" Rain's confused plea turned into a yelp as a boulder landed next to her. "Yes, now go and save your pack. Fast!" Rain didn't need to be told again. The fire was gobbling up the forest around her, so fast that it was just a blur of orange, red, and yellow. She raced through the forest, looking back at Ebony as the smoke enclosed the forest in black. Ebony's face was smiling as the smoke engulfed her. But Rain could have sworn that she had seen the black wolf stand up and run away. Rain snarled as some of the fire burned her tail. She felt her pelt fur falling off her pelt, and wondered if this was how those strange creatures were born. She didn't want to be a hairless beast that walked on two paws. Eventually water began falling from the clouds, and the fire sank back into the ground. Rain was tired and decided that she wouldn't make it back home as she was, so she took a chance and rested under a burnt tree. The tree smelled of smoke, and Rain's eyes stung with tears, but not from the fire, from her discovery. Now looking back on it, she was surprised nobody else thought it was Grass. He had constantly been snarling and grimacing, but really what it had been was smiling. Grass, the cowardly Omega, had smiled during the death of her family. But why would he kill her family? Then she realized. Grass must have loved Forest. Grass had glared at Alpha. Then the next day Alpha had been killed, and he had killed Bold and Dawn because they weren't his. Rain whimpered as she fell asleep. Her dreams danced with nightmares of blood and death as Rain cowered in a corner with Star and Dusty, but this time the figure covered in blood was not a brown shape. It was a sorrowed, bloody mess of flames. Rain awoke from her dream with a yelp. She was soaked with cold sweat as she stood up to go confront Grass. But would her pack believe her? She had been banished. Rain ran from the camp, pine cones and debris clinging to her pelt. But she didn't care as long as Star, Dusty, and Forest lived through this. It was night when she arrived at camp, and she didn't see anyone anywhere. But she had to do this without anyone seeing her. Otherwise, they would chase her away. Rain crept towards the fighter's den, where she knew Grass would be sleeping. But before she made it halfway across camp, she saw a limp shape. She was horrified who it could be. Could it be Star? What about Dusty? Rain gasped as she saw who it was, because it was not a family member. Grass lay in a pool of his own blood, tons of small scratches battering his pelt, but his throat was torn open with a wolf's bite. Rain looked around, and her pelt stood on end when she heard a young voice. "Hello, sister."